Hi, this is Shay Veronica. I'm following up with the story I did earlier about Allison Helen Alexander Lovell. Well, she was on Naked Departure's radar a couple years back. She stole money from a Cecil Marshall, and the courts determined it was $165,543.88, and she was suspended from practicing law for only 18 months. 18 months. She was found guilty of professional misconduct. Okay, so Allison was supposed to appear in court today, July 4th, because she did not repay the money. And that's what happens. They would steal your money. They would, if they're caught, they would, get embarrassed in the newspaper, but they are continuing their lives, making money in the same form, in the same practice, in the same industry that they are accustomed to. And in the meanwhile, the person that they stole from suffers. And there was a time when you could have robbed a Barbadian, and that Barbadian would tell anyone they meet, they would talk about that robbery, but there was nothing they could do because the attorneys seemed untouchable. And even if they were caught, it was a slap on the wrist. It was nothing major. And in the meanwhile, the person that they stole from suffered forever. They could never recover from it. Okay. So talking about it was their only release. Now, Barbadians are standing up. I remember when I got robbed of my 20,000, probably plus, from Mark B.A. Thompson in Barbados, that I wrote about it and I talked about it and I exposed the person who robbed me. And, you get hits here and there and people understood here and there, but you have to let people know what has happened to you so that there's a red light when they see that person, And even though he went on, his life was there, drama, tragedies, someone that he is associated with almost found themselves dead because of association with him. So you have to be careful who you hang with when they're committing their crimes. Now, this lady, Allison, her husband and two kids are dead. They are the four people who were found in that fire in St. Philip this morning, July 4th. They're members of one family. There were explosions. People are reporting that there were two explosions heard, and then the two-story house that they were living in burned to a crisp. And all four of them, no one escaped. Four people in a house and no one escaped. So you can use your own imagination as I use mine. So it's obvious that Barbadians are no longer standing back and just talking to people they meet, anyone who will listen to them, telling them about the tragedies that has happened to them because they trusted the legal fraternity. They're not doing that anymore. If a Barbadian has been injured and set back and they go to the courts and the court does not do justice, the person who committed the crime is not made to sell their house, sell whatever valuables they have to repay the person that was injured by the theft. If the courts are not doing those sorts of things, Barbadians we are seeing are standing up. There's a grassroots effort on the bottom level, where you're seeing Barbadians are no longer taking the abuse sitting down. They're not. So Allison Alexander Lovell, her husband and two kids are dead. You could wait for your paper to tell you what happened. You could wait for the coroner's report 10 years from now to tell you what happened. But because she was guilty, she was found guilty. This is not hearsay. This is not rumor. Allison Alexander Lovell was found guilty of stealing Cecil Marshall's money. She was suspended from her legal practice for 18 little months. She was supposed to show up in court today because she did not repay the man his money. She did not give the guy back his money. So I'm sure that maybe the authorities in Barbados are probably looking for Cecil Marshall if he's alive, or maybe he had kids or whoever his beneficiaries were or are. Somebody should be looking at him. But for me, when someone takes your money, when someone relieves you of your money, they put you in slavery, because that means that all that work you did to acquire that money, you did it for free. You did it for free. Anyone who steals money from you subjected you to slavery, because the money that they took from you, you worked for, they relieved you of it. You worked for it for free, because you don't have the money that you work for in your pockets. You don't have it in your bank account. It's gone. So you work for free. And if you work for free, you were a slave. So people are enslaving people when they rob them. You need to understand these things. I know sometimes I feel as though you don't have the capacity for these kind of lessons, but it is the truth. It's a fact. Anytime you rob someone, you have put them in slavery. It's a form of slavery. Anytime you lie to someone and get something from them, you've raped them. There are certain things you need to understand so that you don't go around committing crimes and thinking, oh, I only took this amount, or I only did that, or I only did this. You are raping people. You are putting people in slavery by the things that you do that are unjustifiable. If you are doing something that is not right, if you're stealing, if you are lying, whatever you're doing that is hurting someone else, you are committing some serious crimes. Serious crimes. So Allison and her entire family have met with the serious crimes that she committed. We're hearing that her husband was a contractor, and you know what goes along with that particular industry. So they have met face to face, and the outcome was not nice. The outcome was not good in terms of Barbadians, because you know that once, you're gone, you become a saint in Barbados. Oh, a good man gone, a good woman gone. Oh, those poor little kids. You have to be careful. You have to be careful who you associate with. And if someone is a known thief, and for her to be found guilty in Barbados, it had to be so. Because they turn a blind eye to a lot of things. So once she came up before the adjudicating boards and she was found guilty, she was guilty. She took the man's money. So karma at its finest, whether you want to accept it or not, it's karma. It's plain and simple in my mind. But you can wait for the 10 years for the coroner to tell you, what you should be thinking. Sure, Veronica.